Hello, everyone. It is Wedding Wednesday webinar time. And today we have a very special guest, Justin Taylor with Eventquo. McCole introduced me to Justin, and she was excited about having him on to teach you about the importance of having a CRM. And Justin is so passionate about this whole CRM and getting your business in order to make more money. And we all like to make more money. I don't know about you all, but I sure do want to make more money. So I am going to mute myself and let Justin jump right in and get started.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Shelby, and thank you, Nicole, for having me on um, today. As Shelby had mentioned, my name is Justin. I really have grown up in the wedding industry and worked for many years in the wedding industry. Eventquo was founded by wedding planners, wedding photographers who all came together and said, "There's not a system out there that really does what we need to do." In the event industry. And from there, the system was built. So it's not just a CRM that is tailored to um, sales as a whole or tailored to every industry. It's tailored to this industry. Now, beyond all of that, in my years of being in events and working through events, there's a lot of things that I've learned in how to make your CRM really work for you, how to make things really grow and turn your leads into more money, into sales, and what those systems look like. So today, what I want to do is I want to first of all say again, thank you for having me. I'm incredibly excited for the partnership with ABC that Eventquo has been establishing. I believe that we're going to do really great things for the community, and I believe that there's is so much that we can do. So, um, and second, I just want to introduce a little bit about what we'll be talking about. So today, I decided let's talk about lead flow and how automation will play into that. So when I talk about lead flow, I'm looking at basically the five C's or what we're going to call them. So curate, connect, commit, celebrate, and cultivate. And this is what we're going to dive into today. And if you can get these in your brain and hold on to these and keep these, you're going to understand that this is the flow that will not only lead you to more bookings, it'll lead you to more sales, it'll lead you to a happier customer experience. And when we get to the cultivate, this is where I get really passionate because it's kind of the piece that I've added to all of these systems that takes everything you've done and restarts the process and gives you that business that continues to um, self-sustain. One quick note, this is going to be purely about teaching automation and lead flow, drip campaigns and what those look like. For those of you who stick around to the very end of this, I want you to know we do have a very special offer from Eventquo. It's the biggest offer we've ever given, and I'm told it's the biggest offer I'll ever be allowed to give again. So please stick around, and we'll show you that at the very end. So before we get started, let's talk a little bit about um, some numbers. And these numbers, as a business owner, really should be disturbing, unfortunately. But um, I want to remember this as a wedding planner, your biggest bottleneck is not a lack of talent, it's not a lack of creativity. Everyone that I talk to, it's a lack of time. I just don't have the time. I just can't seem to get to the right place at the right time. So let's talk a little bit about these numbers and what happens when we don't have the time of what's actually happening with our lead flow. So when we did our research, we found that the industry average, and we're talking about the planner industry, the industry average for a response time is 47 hours. And you might think, well, no way I would take that long to respond. But if you're at a wedding, if you're at an event, maybe you got an event that's a 3-day event, it's very hard to get that initial response out. So this number actually makes a ton of sense. Um, we're looking at our email, we forget to respond. All of a sudden it's Monday, Tuesday, and we're like, oh man, I got to get that response out. 47 hours, almost 2 days of radio silence before your lead actually hears from you. So there's a reality check in here. We found that 78% of customers will book with the business that responds first. So I want you to stop and think about that for a minute. It takes 2 days to respond. So you've given someone 2 days to allow another company to respond first, therefore limiting your ability to book that lead to maybe just 20%. That's a huge hole. It's a huge gap that we need to fix. So when we find this, we see that right now, 71% of all of the lead work that we've done, all the people that we're trying to bring in are essentially wasted. And in my notes here, I have due to poor follow-up. I don't want to, it's not poor follow-up. I don't want it to be a negative thing. It's just, again, due to the lack of time, 71% of the people that are actually engaging with your business are simply lost. Another staggering number is that 80% of sales require up to 5 or more follow-up contacts. Now, this one got me. When we did our survey, we found that 44% of professionals tend to give up after just that initial response. So 80% of sales take 5 or more contacts, and most people are just responding once. So today, when we're going through this, what I want to show you is how automation is going to fix this problem. So we have the Eventquo blueprint. Talked about it at the very beginning. The 5 C's of a lead: curate, connect, commit, celebrate, and cultivate. This framework ensures that you are consistently, one, you're attracting the right people. We're curating, we want to make sure that we're getting the right people into our flows. 2, that you're actually converting them into leads. Once they're a viable lead, this system will allow you to close them into clients. And then we get to have fun. We get to celebrate. I've been talking to the ladies at ABC. I know you guys like to celebrate. And so this is just such a great moment where we can celebrate and give the best customer experience and allow automation or tools to actually help us give that experience. And finally, I said at the beginning, this is my most exciting part. When it's all done right, it restarts the loop so that your clients become your tribe, so that your past clients become your advocates for your brand. So let's start on the curate phase. It's pretty self-explanatory. That's we're weaning down, trying to find the right leads. This is where we're trying to get eyes on our business. And as a new business, we know that this is important. We know that we have to have the website that people are going to be drawn to. We have to get our SEO out there. We have to get on TikTok. We have to get on Instagram. We have to be doing these things to bring people to our brand. And I think, unfortunately, what happens is in the beginning of building a business, we focus so hard on getting eyes onto our brand, on getting the right people to our brand, that we actually forget about the most important part, which is the follow-up. So I need you to hear this and write it down and make sure that you remember this, because everything you do, no matter what system you're using, no matter if it's pasting multiple systems together, I need you to hear attracting leads is just noise if you don't have a plan to convert them. I'm going to say it again. You can attract as many leads as you would like, but it becomes just noise if there's no plan to convert them. I think in today's world, most of us get stuck in this this need for more followers, the need for more likes, the need for more views. And those are all good and they're important. But we can't ignore what happens when someone actually clicks on the link in your bio, when someone actually clicks to your website, when someone actually fills out a form. So I think we all do this part very well. This is the very beginning. It's the first step we do when we start a business. But now we're going to go into the next phase where the automation journey really begins. We're going to call it the connect phase. So before we jump into the connect phase, I want to show you a little bit so you can get a visual of kind of what I'm talking about. So when we start automation processes, basically what we're doing is we're saying when a lead, and this is just a screenshot from Eventquo, but when a lead reaches a certain point in a journey, do these actions. When a lead reaches another point in their journey, stop those actions and do these actions. And what Eventquo has done very well is it allows you to start and stop based on certain lead stages. It allows you to actually build out each stage of the process and not have to finish one phase to start the next. And we'll get into that later. So let's look at the connect phase. Connecting is where we turn the quote unquote just browsing. This is a term I use all the time when I'm trying to kill time because my wife's shopping somewhere else and I'm just like, yeah, I'm just looking. I'm just killing time. I'll actually say I'm just killing time because my wife's buying something at another store, so I need to pass the time. But we need to turn those people, me, from the just browsing, I'm just looking, into an active inquiry. We've learned that in the event industry, the first planner to respond usually wins the deal. Now, I have done sales and marketing for events. I've done them for online education, automotive. I have gone through a plethora of industries, and I've used the same system over and over and over, and it works every time. In some of the industries, when I was doing photography, I did that for 15 years. I actually would stop everything I was doing every time an inquiry came in, and I would call that lead as soon as it came in. And that was the start of all of this process that I've been building. So that might not always be doable. And that's kind of what we talked about in the very beginning is what do you do when you're not able to drop everything and make the phone call? So here's how the system will work. First, we're going to start our instant welcome email. As soon as someone inquires, whether that is through a phone call, through a email, maybe through a DM, whatever system, whenever they inquire, it's going to go into our automated funnel and send them a beautifully branded email, providing them with your services, what you're doing, tailored to them, obviously. So instead of, we don't want to just say, hi, new lead. We want to say, hi, Justin. Thanks for reaching out and giving them all that information. Now, here's the thing. Emails tend to be finicky. Sometimes they'll end in a promotions folder. Sometimes they'll end in a spam. Sometimes we know this about email when we're sending. So what we want to do then is move into the second phase of our connect, which is a casual SMS. Now, I don't know if you knew this, but text messages have a 98% open rate. So what I would do often is I'd send a text message on day 2 saying, hey, Justin, I sent you the information that you inquired about yesterday. Sometimes it ends up in your spam, junk, or promotion folders. Kindly check those and see if you've received it. I sent it to whatever the email address is that they submitted with, just in case there's any issues. Please let me know if that's the right email address. And what this did for me is it took my open rates of that first email from about 30% all the way up to 70%. So all of a sudden, people were really opening that first email. And also what it did is it helped me find that other 30% where somebody typed their email address in wrong. So I would send that text saying, hey, I sent it to this email address, and they'll say, actually, that's not my email address. And then I could go change it in my system, restart the whole process, and now that other 30% is saved as well. We then move on to our next email. I generally would send it on day 4, where it's a value-added resource. So we want to send a helpful guide, a checklist, something that shows them you know what you're talking about. So If they haven't responded in those first two, which are very unlikely, you're sending something that says, hey, here is a free resource for you that you can use with planning your wedding. It shows you as a professional, it shows that you know what you're talking about. From there, we go on to social proof. Social proof is really hard when you're just starting out. If you've been in business for a while, you tend to have lots of reviews, lots of people talking great about your business. So that's really easy to do. If you're new, you want to get some of those reviews in right away, even if it's one person that you've done the wedding for as a friend for free, just so that you could get some experience. Get them to write you some reviews so that you can send people there. How many times when you're buying something do you look at the reviews before you hit purchase? For me, that's become something that's so common, especially when I'm buying on Amazon, because I never know what I'm getting. So I want to make sure that I know that that product or that service is well established. So we always want to be sending that. When people see that other people have had a great experience with you, they are so much more likely to get back. Now, this is kind of the fun one. You do get those occasional people who have just quote unquote browsing, they're looking around, they haven't really responded, they haven't committed. The whole point of sales when we're doing these different phases is we want to force a commitment. And I'm going to use the word force because I think there are two types of salespeople. There's the salesperson that doesn't take no for an answer. I don't want to be that type of salesperson. But there's also the type of salesperson that is very aware if their service is the right service or not for someone. I want to be that kind of salesperson. And so what we do on the last days is what we call the professional breakup email. Now, you can get creative with this. You can get crafty with it. I've done things like, hey, it's not you, it's me. Um, Obviously, we're not aligned. It's like something's not working in this relationship. What should we do? Uh, but basically, the whole point of it is that like, hey, if we don't move forward, I'm going to have to offer this date to somebody else. And what that does is it creates a little bit of FOMO in people, and it forces them to make a decision. I would rather hear from somebody, no, I'm not interested in your service, than for them to just be sitting around not giving me any information and me still putting resources and time into trying to convert them. So on day 10, if nothing really has happened, we want to break up with the client. We want to give them the ability to say, yes or no, I'm interested, I'm not. And this, we'll do the breakup email a few times throughout the system. This first email, breakup email, is very light. It's not, I'm deleting your information forever and I never want to talk to you again and I'm burning all of our pictures. It's not like that. It's just a way of saying, hey, are we moving forward or are we not? So, what's happening here while we're doing this, when we get into this connect phase, is that we're providing a premium, high touch experience the very second that a buyer shows interest in our product. By setting this up, you have totally beaten that 47-hour rule. Now, when we move along, people will show interest. People will begin to say, yeah, no, I want to set up a consultation. I want to work with you. I want to learn more. So, what we're going to do is once they move into that place, we're moving them into the commit phase. So, a really important note here is once we move a client into the commit phase, we have to stop our automation in the previous phase. And as I showed you in that screenshot, what's really cool about Eventquo is that you can use triggers that push, pull, and stop. So if someone is in your pipeline as the connect, you can set up your pipeline, connect, commit, celebrate, and so on. So what's really cool about it is if someone's in your connect phase and you move them to the commit phase, it's going to stop everything that was being sent in that commit phase and start the connect phase and start the commit phase automations. And what that means is you don't want to be sending someone or talking about a proposal or setting up a time for a consultation, and then it sends them a breakup email. You want to be very careful with that. And sometimes a lot of systems will get muddy in this, where what they'll do is they start one automation and they run it all the way through, and then you start the next one that starts running it all the way through. You need to stop them where they were if it takes 2 days or 7 days to move into the commit phase. So in our studies and when talking to planners, we found that most of us hate following up on money. We hate the follow up that's uh, requesting payment or making sure that contracts are signed because it feels so awkward. It's such an awkward thing to talk about. So if you don't like doing it, automate it. Um, I think that's the best way to do it because if it's going to be awkward and you're going to put it off, put it into a system that's actually going to do it for you so that you can get the sale done and the money in your account. So here's an example of the commit phase. On day one, which is when the proposal was delivered, the system is going to deliver the custom proposal with crystal clear instructions on how to lock in their date. So right away, they know exactly what they need to do. Again, Eventquo is really good at this. Many systems are really good at this, of building out your proposal and sending it to the client so they can just walk through step by step, fill out their information, fill out their credit card information, and move forward. If at that point we have not received a signed contract, what I would do is I would send out what I call the objection killer. Um, don't be afraid to step in front of objections. Now, I'm not saying we want to plant a seed in someone's head that's super negative, but a lot of times questions like, do I really need a wedding planner or what are going through people's head? So send out an email on day two about why you do really need a wedding planner. And this will stop cold feet before they get too cold. And then we're going to use a system again that allows us to send an SMS because we've learned that SMS is a great way to get people to open their email. We don't want to overuse it because people will block your number. But if it's used gently and a few times to uh, encourage people to open their email, it's a great way of using SMS. And then we're going to do the deadline release. Now, this is always hard. It depends on how your system is going to be. Do you block the date off for them until they book, or are you not going to block it? But if you are blocking it, you do need to protect your inventory. And so at this point, day 7, it's a hard 24-hour deadline before the date's going to be released to other couples. Again, this is kind of like the breakup. It's not a full, we're going to delete all your information. It's just a, listen, we've been dealing with this proposal here now for 7 days. I do have other inquiries. I do have to make sure that everybody is in the same boat here and given the same chance to book the date. So always a tough one to do and not something we want to do. And we don't want to come across overly aggressive, but we do want to make sure that we protect our inventory. And I've had, unfortunately, I have had weddings cancel on me the day of the wedding where unfortunately the groom did something stupid the night before and the wedding's off. And so that happens. The thing is, in that moment, it was a very difficult situation because they wanted all their money back. And I had to draw a firm line. And I came up with this analogy where if you bought a couch and it sat in the warehouse, even though you never used that couch, you could probably return that couch because it wasn't used. It can be sold again. Your inventory, your date when it's booked, cannot be sold again when that date comes along. So you have to protect your inventory. Once the opportunity passes, you might not have the chance to sell it again. So make sure that if someone's holding a date or tentatively booked, that you are putting in that hard deadline to get the booking in. So once the proposal is signed, we're going to move into this celebrate phase. And that's the fun phase. We got to remember that getting the signature and getting the deposit is not the end of the journey. And I know you all know that, and I know this is something that's so important with all of the training that ABC has been doing. There is a process that has to happen, and you're going to have that process defined um, before you even start doing weddings. But the celebrate phase means that you're giving them a flawless, stress-free onboarding experience. So in this sequence, we're going to send our welcome package and making sure that they know everything to expect in the upcoming journey that they're going to go on with you. Um, you might have things set up in your plan that you're going to do, a quarter one meeting. On month 6, you're going to do another meeting, and these are things that are going to happen with your client. But some of those meetings might fall in the middle of wedding season when things are really busy for you. You may forget to send something out to the client to say, "Hey, let's schedule in a meeting. We need to talk about your wedding next year," because you're focused on what's happening this year. Wouldn't it be great if through those assignments, your automation just set that out for you, where your client could pre-fill out a questionnaire, schedule a booking right within your calendar, um, and you really didn't have to do anything. You're still focusing on the weddings that you're working on. So this is where in this stage, we're using automation for pre-event, during event, and post-event to really make sure that our client has a great experience. And if they have a great experience, what we can do is then start cultivating and start gathering a lot of that social proof and those 5-star reviews. So I'm going to give you one thing that I've always done. And I think a lot of times, unfortunately, I hope you never have an unhappy client. Unfortunately, sometimes people just need to be unhappy. I don't know what it is, but it happens. And so what I've always done is I send out a pre-email that says, I just need 30 seconds of your time. And in that 30 seconds of your time, when someone reads that subject, they're like, yeah, I'm going to open that. That's okay. And it's just a bunch of buttons from 1 to 10. And it says, please rate your experience with, I'm going to use Eventquo because that's my company. Please rate your experience with Eventquo. We'd love to hear from you. Anyone who rated 7 and above would then fire an automation to ask for a Google review, a public form where people can review and put something for us. Anything below that would start a different sequence where it's just an internal form so I can learn what I did wrong. I don't want to be sending someone a link to my Google business listing if they're giving me a 1 out of 10 happiness rating. So those are things that are really powerful that you can use with automation to make sure that the stuff that's going to be front facing, that your clients, your new clients are going to see, they're not going to see the disgruntled person who for some reason just can't be happy with the service you've offered them, even though you've done everything above and beyond. And unfortunately, when we're reading reviews, we tend to read the lower reviews first. We think that's going to give us a good idea of what actually happened. So if you can cultivate those out, if you can curate those out before sending them to your review, that's going to help you maintain just a really good review system. So now we move into anytime we've done these lead flows, any company I've talked to or any webinar I've been part, like it's always been about get the lead, convert the lead, close the lead. But I always add this final delight, this cultivate. This is my favorite part, and this is something that I've made sure that I've added on my own. And the reason that it's my favorite is because it's what allows us to create a reoccurring revenue. So this is how you create your self-sustaining business without throwing tons of dollars into things. And now here's the deal. What a lot of people don't understand is we'll say, well, I'm going to put my money into paid advertising. I don't want to be paying for referrals. I don't want to be doing this. The reality is, if you really looked at what you were paying in pay-per-click or Facebook ads or boosting your posts, whatever you're doing, you're actually going to be paying less for a good referral because that one good referral is probably going to go with you. There's less work, there's less convincing, there's less everything with it. The referral is so important. So cultivate, remember this cultivate phase, it means that you're incentivizing your past clients to become your new marketing engine. So we talked about it in the very beginning. This is the first thing we're going to do. We're going to get our website up. We're going to get our SEO working. We're going to get our Facebook pages and our Instagram pages. We're going to get everything flying. We're getting lots of likes. We're getting lots of visits. That was our marketing engine, but your new marketing engine, when you do this, is going to become your past clients. So after the event, you're going to automate a 1-month anniversary check-in. You're going to send a VIP referral invitation. Again, you're going to know which of your clients are happy before you send any of this. You're going to send an 11-month anniversary reminder to the groom. That's probably smart to do. But these personal touches make people just remember you. You're constantly in their mind. And if you're following up with them after their event, they're going to be more likely to refer you to one of their friends who are getting married because they're going to remember you. They're going to remember that what you did for them and that your name is always in the top of their mind. So this setting up automation is about making sure that your brand, your name is always top of mind when people are thinking or wanting to refer something. And I kind of want you to vision, if you have all of these written out, the 5 C's, I kind of want you just to vision a line or an arrow walking from cultivate all the way back to curate. And you can see that this system just moves from beginning to end and then restarts itself. Beginning to end, restarts itself. And as your client base grows, that restart is just always growing, and it's allowing you to develop such a great reoccurring business. Great, all great. Justin, how do I build this? What do I do? What happens from here? Well, I told you that in the beginning, I want this to be educational. This is the system that I use constantly to grow business. So there's many ways that you can do it. You have an option, you can duct tape it together. You can use Google Sheets. You can use Gmail, setting up maybe scheduled posts. You can use all these different applications to do different things. That's totally fine. Sometimes you can find free options. Sometimes you have paid options. You can go and buy the most expensive CRM on the market. It's probably going to do it all. It's going to cost you a lot of money. But today, what I'm going to recommend to you is really look into a centralized hub, whether that's Eventquo or any other CRM. I think it's important that if you want to grow your business, you need to have a system that allows you to implement and build that exact framework that I just showed you for walking a lead through from beginning to end. So what are you looking for in a CRM? You're looking for something that has automation triggers. You're looking for something that manages all of your contacts. You're looking for something that manages all of your events. Now, this is the reason why we built Eventquo. We felt that there was nothing on the market that would allow you to do all of the things that a CRM like HubSpot or Keep that are roughly $500, $600 a month. There was nothing in our industry that would allow you to do that. So we built a system that is tailored to whatever event industry you are in. It will centralize all of your business, all of your agreements, all of your automations, all of your contacts, all of your communications, everything in one place. So you just have to log in once and you can see where everything's at. We have built beautiful AI tools into the system as well, which I know everyone has. Click AI to write this email. That's not what we've done. We wanted it to actually help you. So when you go to a contact, you check tell me what's happened with this lead, and it will just go through all of the communication and tell you all the automation that went out, everything that's happened. So you know exactly what the tool is doing for you when you're not around. So this is going to lead me to our offer, and then I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to talk anymore about Eventquo. I do, and I want to open it up for questions that anyone would have. So here's the great thing. What we've done is we've partnered with ABC, um, and I want it to be a true partner. So what that means is that as long as you are a member of ABC, you will receive 30% off of Eventquo for life. For as long as you're a member, you will receive that 30%. As a thank you for attending today, this is the biggest offer we've ever given. Anyone who signs up within the next 48 hours is going to receive 65% off their first month. Now, you heard me talk about CRMs like HubSpot and Keep, and they're $500 a month. Eventquo doesn't even touch that. We start at $30 a month. Our best package, our biggest package with everything included is $135 a month. You're going to get 65% off of that for 4 months. So it allows you the time to set up and really work through these different automations. Further, we have agreed to have a dedicated support staff for everyone who's a member of ABC. So if you sign up and you want help setting up these automations, we are here to help walk you through it one-on-one to make sure that, you know, your business is not just you're not just paying for an application and that's it. We want to help walk you through and make sure that you're set up for success. So at that point, I will leave it there. You can visit eventquo.com, or you can email me at hello@eventquo.com. My name is Justin, and we will work with you on that. But I wanted to open it up for some questions, see if there's anything that I can answer now that we got about 20 minutes left here.
Justin, thank you. McCole has a question. Are the phases customizable? Meaning, could a step be added into the process?
Absolutely. So everything that we do with now, I can only speak for Eventquo. I can't speak for really other CRMs, but the great thing is that you can build your own pipeline in every contact. So um, whether it's when it's a new lead, you can build out all of those phases and then customize the workflow that goes with it. So you could add 6 months of automated emails if you wanted to. There's no limit.
Uh, Next question. For the different packages, how many events are under each package?
Yeah, so that's a great question, and we don't want to limit your success. So in the first package is really just a starter to get an idea, a feeling for the program. But other than that, we don't limit your events.
Okay,
We,
next
we
part.
don't limit, sorry, I should say, we don't limit events, we don't limit contacts, we don't limit anything because we don't believe that you should be limited in your success. We want to see you grow.
So she has a second part to that question, which is when you already have a payment platform that works, would you suggest to move over to Eventquo?
A payment form that works?
Yes. When you already have
So,
a payment platform that works, would you
yeah,
suggest to move over to Eventquo?
I would simply because it depends what you're using for your payment platform. Eventquo does integrate with Halcyon Square Stripe. Um, what works, why I would suggest it is because of the proposal section of it. So Eventquo is not just a payment um, platform per se, but it's actually a full booking process that will allow you to collect questionnaire on the client, allow them to sign an agreement and make their payment, and then obviously schedule any of the reoccurring payments that have to happen. So um, that's where I would suggest it because it puts everything into one place, so your booking is completely together.
Next question. How long will the discount be available? That's 4 months, right?
Yeah, so that is live for 48 hours.
The the discount is up, but you can use it within. Tell me about the four
Yeah.
months.
Yeah. So the 65% off, which is the biggest one we've ever done, that's
Yes.
available for 48 hours after this webinar.
Okay.
The 30% off for members is always.
Okay. Next question. Can I include checklists for my clients?
Absolutely. So Eventquo has a full client portal. And one thing too in this, I would totally suggest if you want to book a demo with Eventquo, we can do that after this session. And I can walk you through all of those things. But it has a full checklist that where you can assign tasks to your clients, you can assign them to yourself, and you can actually build task or checklist templates. So you don't have to start from scratch every time. So basically, you're saying, 9 months before the event, this task is due. 6 months before, this task is due. 3 hours before, this is due. And when you apply that to a contact, it fills out all of the to dos and assigns them appropriately to the bridegroom, however you want to set that up.
Great. Does Eventquo have email templates that can be used?
It does, yeah. And we have a full drag and drop email builder. And from here as well, if you want to email me at that hello@eventquo, I'm more than happy to send you. I have templates of the 5 Cs. I'd be more than happy to send that over to you.
Okay, next question. Do you have integrations with any planning software?
We we can integrate with anything. We don't have integrations with any necessarily planning software because we are a planning software. So in the events module of Eventquo, you're actually building out your complete timeline. You can set text reminders that can be sent to yourself or to a certain vendor the day of. So, for example, let's just say the photographer is supposed to arrive at 9 o'clock. We can build out our itinerary and send a text to the photographer at 9:45, just confirming you're coming at this point without you ever touching a thing. So, Eventquo actually has a full event planning, budgeting, communication, contract, questionnaire, everything built into it under the events module.
Will Eventquo work for a destination management company?
So this is a great question, and it's come up before. It will work. We are growing so fast that we are really excited when people have new ideas. So if this is something that you're looking for and it's missing a little piece, our development team is really excited to build those pieces in. So I believe, yes, it will work from my knowledge, but if there's something missing, we would have it built pretty quick.
Oh, it sounds great. Can it also be used for social media posting?
So we didn't include the social media posting in it, just simply because there's a lot of free tools now that do that, and they probably do it better than we can do it. I will let you know that there are in development right now is social media and Google advertising. So you'll be able to pull your advertising ads in and out and see how they're performing. But as of right now, no, we're not doing social media posting.
And the last question that I have, unless someone else sends a question, is can I integrate using templates from Canva?
Yeah. So you can actually just download your email template in an HTML and import it into Eventquo, and it's a perfect match.
Okay, any other questions? Justin, I know that I asked you to teach because that's what the webinar is for, but
Yeah.
I think it might be good if you did a demo because they're asking for a demo so that they could see all of the qualities and everything that you do from a typical wedding. So
Yeah.
if you give me a date, like after we get off this call, sometime today or tomorrow, if you give me a date when you can set up a demo, that would be great.
I would love to do that.
Okay, it just give me the date and I'll get it out to them and you can give them that demo and then they can make an informed decision about how they want to move forward.
Perfect. And I do want to point out too, Shelby, you did ask me about what do I do if I have multiple businesses? Remember that question you asked me?
Yes, yes.
That was one. And so I will tell you that we developed a system. So in our top package, you can actually add multiple brands now to Eventquo. So what's really cool is when you go to an event, you can select which quo type it is. So for example, you could be Planner Quo, which is your planning tool, or you can have Aisle Quo, which is the officiant tool. And it changes the whole event system so that it works um, specifically for whichever event type you are working.
Oh,
So
that's
just
awesome.
an example of a question that came through, and we were like, man, that's a really good idea. It is developed and implemented.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Any other questions before Justin leaves? You all heard me ask him about the demo. So as soon as he gets a date to me, I'll get it to you. All
And
righty.
if it's all right with you as well, I'm happy. You can actually book a demo right on our website, and we'll do it one on one for people as well. That's totally fine. So we are happy to do as much as we can.
So what's your preference, Justin? Do you want them to do
I think
one-on-one?
let's do both. It's there
Okay.
for people who want to book it. I'll also send you a date to do a demo.
Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Let me see. I have another question. Oh, it's just thank you. Thank you. And thank you.
Yes.
You're welcome. You're welcome, and you're welcome.
So, Justin, thank you. McCole, thank you as always. I do want to remind you our next webinar is August the 5th, and it will be on destination weddings. So by the time we talk about destination weddings, Justin will already have something created. So when you do the demo, he's gonna, because I asked him that question like 2 weeks ago, I
Yeah,
think. So our next webinar on the 5th will be on destination weddings. Justin, thank you. Thank
you're
you
very
Shelby,
welcome.
for fitting us
You're
can
into
very
your busy schedule. I really appreciate it.
can
yes.
we add in that Justin's coming back too later on in the year?
Yeah, we're having him coming back doing some specialized training.
Mhm.
So we've already roped him in. So
Yeah.
Perfect.
we're planning to
You're
keep
not,
him
I like
busy.
you guys. This is good. I'm happy. It's
All
good.
right, everybody. I really appreciate your being here. Justin, thank you again. And Nicole, thank you for introducing me to Justin. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.